Last week, we sat down with Dmitry Lipinskiy at his new headquarters in Minnesota. We discussed his controversial relationship with Andy Elliott, the fallout and aftermath of his fight with Lee Haight, the future of Roofing Insights and that of Directorii, and also why roofing process continues after all. But first, in typical fashion, we had to get a little workout in, so check that out, and then this exciting and very interesting conversation with Dmitry. Welcome, everyone. If you were in the roofing space, my guest today possibly needs no introduction. He is the owner and founder of Roofing Insights and also Directorii. His channel on YouTube has over 120,000 subscribers, and that comes with controversy. He has those who hate and those who love him, and he has brought, well, some accountability to the roofing industry in a way no one before him has been able to do. His media company is the largest and most impactful in the blue-collar space. And today we get to talk to him about those companies and what the future holds for Roofing Insights and Directorii. Dmitry Lipinskiy, my friend, is with me today. How are you, sir?
I'm living the dream, brother.
Man, first of all, thank you for having us out here to your facility, your people, you, the workout, all of it. It's something else what you're putting together.
Awesome. Thank you.
So third time with us getting together. And so I wanted to make sure that I brought quick value here to our audience. You have become the face of an industry that is a multi-billion-dollar industry. A lot of young men in the roofing game between, let's say, 25 and 45 and younger. Do you feel like you carry a burden of responsibility that is greater than what it was 3 years ago? As more and more people follow your content, they look to you, the fights that you do, the leadership. Does it weigh heavy on you?
I'm a teacher by trade. I always wanted to be a teacher ever since I was 13, 14, 15. I have kids. You always, you are responsible for the people you lead. I believe that as a content creator, I am responsible for the message, for the personal example. I have my personal life. I don't post a lot of stuff that I want to post for that reason. I feel like, yes, I'm responsible. I don't want to be a bad example because I don't want to be responsible for someone doing something. And yes, accountability is greater. It's not a burden. Leaders lead. Once you become a leader or you realize you're a leader, there's no other way. You're not a follower. And you're responsible for those who you lead. So I'm very careful what I say. I'm very careful for the fights I pick. I'm very careful for my message. And Patrick Bet-David in his book says, pick your enemies wisely. So I pick my enemies very wisely. I do it on purpose. I don't fight every fight, but if I fight, I go to the end.
Well, we've seen that, and that happened earlier this year in Atlanta, as most people in the industry know. Thousands came out to watch a fight between you and Lee Haight, an individual who you most literally and figuratively had a fight with. I think a lot of want to know, has there been any discussion between you and Lee Haight since that fight, between him personally or his team and you?
Right after the fight, his right hand reached out to, in effort to settle the $60,000. She offered me, she's his relative and also right hand in the Sky Diamonds. And Natalie, she reached out, she asked to pay to their choice of charity. I'm like, no, that has nothing to do with the charity. Within 2 weeks, Brad Lee, Lance Backman, other guys call him out and it's like, hey, be a man, pay it up. And Lee Haight decided to block me because he does not know how to deal with the conflict. He does not know how to be a man. That guy is not man of his word. And we never spoke since. So he went, actually, as a matter of fact, I've never spoken one time after the fight.
Oh.
So
I think that'd be surprising to some people. You think there'd be that, the congratulations call, the one, I don't know, the kind of go through the formality.
Some people can't lose, don't know how to lose. You cannot be a winner if you don't learn how to lose.
It's interesting you mentioned the Brad Lee podcast. It's one I wanted to talk to you about. I thought it was a very interesting podcast. And for my viewers, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, Brad Lee's channel, very popular, Dropping Bombs. You and him went toe-to-toe, back and forth. You mentioned that the whole thing with Lee, you brought that up in the beginning of the podcast with him. You mentioned in conversations like a guy like Lance Bachman, two people I have an immense amount of integrity about. I got to turn my attention then to another individual who seems to be in some way supporting Lee at this point, and somebody that you've had on your conference stage. Andy Elliott was somebody that came to your conference last year. I know at one time you had an immense amount of respect for. And scrolling through my Instagram feed, I was surprised at that, knowing that he called to congratulate you and to talk to you at the fight. I was there in Atlanta with you. To see a conversation between him and Lee. I'd like to know from you, is that something that you were aware of? Is it something that you feel betrayed about? How was your feeling about this relationship from somebody at one time you were close with?
I don't care. Like, people change. There's evolution of character. Andy Elliott was 10 year ago. Now he's 7. He keeps dropping points, and a lot of people in my audience says the same thing. I follow people. The same with the Patrick Bet-David, Marcus Lemonis. Like, Warren Buffett said it takes 20 years to build a reputation, 5 minutes to lose it. And unfortunately, in any business, you can lose your reputation. It's people who you associate with. It's brands you promote. I'm thinking about, Tom Brady promoting like some, or Logan Brothers promoting some shady, cryptocurrencies and stuff, right? Unfortunately, when you become big like Andy Elliott, the way I see him now, like he disappointed me a lot. I stopped scrolling. Like I still follow him, but I don't like his vision today. To me, Andy Elliott is a sellout. To the brands, after you've seen 100 posts with a stupid nose Band-Aid, you're hypocrite. You're not going to do it for your life. It's a money grab. And I don't blame him for it, but it's a money grab for whatever the nose bandage is. Then there's money grab to promoting, cold plunge. Then there's money grab, he will take money from Lee. He will take money from anyone. He can grab money. And it's not in my DNA. I'm not a money-driven person. You want to drive Ferrari, you want to have boats, you want to have everything, and you are willing to step over people and do shady deals or do business with the shady people. Andy Elliott should know by now, should do research that, Lee Haight is a con artist. They don't care. As long as Lee Haight pays Andy Elliott, he will take that cash. And that's very disappointed. But do I care? No.
Do you still consider him to be a mentor or somebody that you look up to?
No, I would never mentor. That was over. Like the moment I start seeing those,
yep.
Like I have a mentor. Dan Martell is my mentor.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, Dan Martell is someone I respect. And, you have to have a character. You have to have a character that I admire. Like if I see you doing... I don't do business with the sellouts.
Got it. I'm going to ask my last question about this before we move on, because I think that the audience wants to know, will there be a rematch between you and Lee?
I'll kick his ass anytime, but in order for that to happen, he has to pay up first $60K to settle the first one, and then we can start negotiation second one. But you've seen the fight. You know me. I'm a competitive person. Even if I fight, and by the way, I don't care if it's boxing. I'll wrestle you. I'll freaking basketball you. You pick, you want to do 400 meter, 200 meter, one, you pick the physical distance. You pick how we're gonna measure, whatever the indifferences we have. I'll beat Lee Haight in freaking any sport there is. I'm faster than him. I'm more physical than him. I'm mentally stronger than him. I don't care what he picks. Like, I'll take the fight, but we have to negotiate the terms, when and how we're going to do it, what's the reason, all of that stuff.
Well, first, you got to pay that $60,000. Let's talk about your conference. I was there last year. Tears were all over the room when you said that you were not going to be doing the conference again. I was one of them. Your conference has meant a lot. We were just talking on the phone before this. Gentleman Escalade Roofing is, hey, listen, my company is where it is because of your conference. You said you weren't going to do it anymore. You're going to put it to the side. Can you explain how that process changed and how you got involved to doing it this year, coming up around the corner?
Sure. So I announced that I'm not going to do it. I have about 5 offers. 5 people came to me, offer affiliation deals, offer some kind of partnership deals. It was many talks. Lance Beckman, so during our interview, asked me about it, and then we start talking, and he is like, I want to get a conference. So he made me offer. I couldn't resist. So pretty much the deal is I partner up with Lance Beckman. His team completely run an event. So I'm not responsible for vendors, for anything. So they took huge load from me. I'm only responsible for the stage, to promoting the event. I'm still face of the event. I nominate tons of speakers to them. They're working with them. So pretty much quality of the event is not going to go down because I'm heavily involved in it. So the DNA of the event, I actually just have a talk with them this morning about vendors. They're selling vendors. They're doing all of it. I'm a face. I'm a promoter. But I'm going to attend my own conference just like I would attend SVG and someone else running. So I have the best of both worlds. My legacy is still there, but someone else running it. And welcome to the United States of America. Like, opportunities are endless and deals like this possible.
That's great, man. I was going to ask you this question, but I wasn't. USA, red, white, and blue. You walk around your office, man. You see flags. You got a quote from Thomas Jefferson up there in your studio. There's a lot of it around here. People may look at you who don't know you and think Russian, Siberia, that guy. But for you, you talk about the American dream and you believe in it. It seems like you've embodied maybe more the American core than even what some people who were born here with. Can you give me an idea? I haven't heard this from you. You see the direction of this country as somebody who immigrated here and started with nothing. What do you feel like as you turn on a news or you see individuals out there in the political landscape that it sets at today?
This is the best country in the world. I'm a historian by my education. I went to study history. I'm also Russian, so I study Russian history. I study American history. Like, I'll give you an example. I wrote it in my university. One of the papers that I wrote, it was agriculture in the United States in 1920s, like agriculture in agricultural revolution in the United States, how everything turned back in 1920s, 30s when you guys started doing a lot of corn. Anyway, it was fascinating by me. But if you study the world, if you study different systems, democracy, I believe you will see the track record of the United States. You will see capitalism. Like, I'll give you an example. My grandfather, like 2-3 generations ago, was very wealthy. And in Russia, in the past 200 years, there's been so many, we're talking, in the United States, after a couple hundred years of the country, we're still just talking about wealth distribution, taxing on wealth. There's still debates and how much wealthy people should, but in this country, you can come here with nothing and you can become Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or whatever, and no one is going to take it from you. Like, what's the last time you have heard that, a billionaire went to jail, because Trump went there. So that's a precedent. But overall, I would say it's the greatest country because my grandfather lost it all. My grandfather lost it all. My father lost it all. You're not going to find a business in Russia that's been in business for 3 generations, 100 years. factory that have been building cars or furniture. It does not exist. Here you come, when you go to Japan, you go to the United States, I know I can build a company, I can pass it to my kids, and I know no one's gonna come and steal. I feel safe. In 17 years in the United States, 18 years now, I've never been discriminated. People judge me and look at me for what I do. They don't look at me as like, oh, you're just stupid Russian or this and that. Yeah, on the Facebook, it might happen, like go back to your country when they don't agree, but that's different. But overall, people treat you for the value that you provide. And, I can build a conference, sell it for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And nobody going to look like, no, you're Chinese, you're Russian. Who cares? You build a value, you sell. That's a capitalism. So I love the opportunity that I have for myself, for my kids, for my parents. You can be good at anything. Like my mom cleans homes. She raised 7 kids. The only skill that she has is cleaning houses. That's the only skill. She came to the United States, she makes a couple $1,000s a week cleaning houses, and people love her because you will be compensated for whatever the heck you're good at, and you can make a living out of it. How freaking awesome is that? People don't appreciate. So now when it comes to politics, you still have 2 parties. Where I come from, we have the same president in power for 24 years. You know what that does? It doesn't, like, he is a dictator. He's freaking worse than, Hitler now. Because when you're in power for more than 2-3 terms, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So here, no matter how bad Obama was for some people, or Biden or whatever, every 4 to 8 years it's going to change. Nobody going to be in power for 12 years. And how freaking awesome is that? That's what I love about this country. Laws work there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of stuff that I don't like, but still, I know that we're going to vote. We're going to make a change. We make our people accountable.
So there's been a lot of change in one particular part of this industry lately. Mm-hmm. All right. You talk about things changing, the ebbs and the flows. You're out there a lot with contractors. You talk to roofers every single day. I've seen your phone just go off left and right. Solar is what I want to talk to you about right now. Is this thing dead in the water, Dmitry? You got roofing contractors out there who look for your advice, whether it be in marketing fitness that you do or on your channel. We have seen countless, it seems like every week, another solar provider is going out of business. In your opinion, what is the future when it comes to roofing for solar?
The same with the solar cars or electric cars. Technology is there, but it's not there yet. I love JF Solar Products. Talked to Nick Brennan the other day. There is, I think, solar does not have as big of a problem as financing solar. That's a real evil. So, like, if you think about, you can get solar as a homeowner, right? Like, I have a homeowner here in Brainerd, Minnesota, have a cabin, install solar panels. I stay there with my family. Solar as a technology, you can install it on a remote location, have a couple lights. I mean, beautiful work, right? The problem is when you get $30,000 solar system and you pay $80,000, $90,000 and you don't get the return, now it does not make sense. Tesla is a beautiful car, but as long as it doesn't cost $150,000. Now, like if you buy it for $15,000 and you drive it every day, it's beautiful. So the same with the solar roofs. It does not make sense for a lot of people. And we have greed. We have, roofing companies, solar companies, they're very greedy by nature. They're driven by sales. When you have the demand and you put a pressure on a person to sell, what do you think is going to happen? He's going to sell whatever the heck he can sell. Now, do we have good deals? Yes, we do have good deals. So I think solar is not dead completely. If you're a rich person, you believe, you think green and you want a smart house and you invest like your own cash, you'll have money back. But it's how much we pay to make it worth, how much we get in return. So there is a future for the solar, but we're not there yet.
All right. Well, talking about investment, I know our time is limited here together, and I have to know this from you. There are companies like, let's say, a Vertex, All-Star, others that are out there that have big money, and they're buying up these $10 million plus companies that are out there. One of the concerns that I hear from our $1 to $5 million guys is, what do I do? And is there a place for these guys anymore in this industry? Are these guys going to be able to start a roofing company in 3 years, or they're going to be, maybe they're a year in? Can they even compete anymore with what these guys at the top are going to be able to do with their buying power and their marketing budgets? If so, what advice do you have for these guys? What does the future look like in roofing the next 3 to 5 years with private equity?
We have a beautiful place here in Maple Grove, Minnesota, Napoli pizza place. So if you live in town, you have Papa John's, you have Pizza Hut, you have all those pizza places, right? You know what you get. It's very. But if you have let's say Italian business owner who runs Italian pizza place next door, and it's handmade, it's beautiful, will you be switching to Papa John's, or you're gonna go to that place? There's something about the United States of America that we love small business here. When neighborhood kid comes to you and say, "Hey, can I cut your grass?" What are you gonna say? You're not gonna be. When you see someone with a stand with a lemonade, what are you gonna do? You're going to support that. There's something about DNA of this country that we support the small business and we hate large corporations. So if there is an option, oftentimes people choose that option. I remember when I just started my company, Stormwood Roofing, I've been 2 years in business. I have this homeowner from Angie's List, and I have 3 wrapped vehicles, 3 wrapped trucks. So, we're talking about 2015 Dodge Ram pulling up, I asked him, "Why did you choose Stormwood Roofing?" He said, "Dmitry, I did not want to choose you. I did not want a big company to work in my house. I wanted a smaller guy." I was blown away by that answer. I'm like, "Sir, there's 3 of us. It's me, my assistant, and Jesus. That's it." But that comment made me think, even back then, that guy wanted a local company. He did not. There's so many people who will do business with you because you're local, you're nice, it's your family, you're not big. As a matter of fact, so many people don't like even big roofing companies. They like the guy who does it all, jack of all trades. They like that, "Oh, I know a guy." And there's and there's a market for it. So when I look at the companies like Empire Floors, $1 billion plus, they're a one-star company. If I want to install a floor today at my house, am I calling Empire Floor, who've been sold 2 or 3 times? Or I'm going to go on Facebook and say, "Anybody knows a flooring guy?" Yeah. You're going to get a flooring guy. So that's your answer. Small business will always be better at customer service, more personal, and people genuinely will always want to promote and endorse and support more that business. So I think small business, small guys are here to say, now, if you are a paper contractor, you have no skin in the game, if you sub it all out, your face is not there, you just want to work 5-hour work week and sub it all out, I don't think you're going to survive. You don't have enough margins, you're going to be taken out. But if you work hard, if you're your own salesperson, if you have good reviews, you have good team, you do quality work, you have nothing to worry about. That's my prediction.
Question for you is this. A couple weeks ago, you made a post online that got hundreds of comments. That post was about calling out somebody because they needed to be called out. Want to elaborate on that one, Dmitry?
I already did. It was Andy Elliott.
Okay, all right.
I was just sick and tired of the stuff I was seeing, and so. But I decided not to do it.
All right, okay. So you decided not to go through with it. Fair enough. I only have 2 more questions for you. Again, I know our time is limited here. You are, at your core now, the number 1 media company in the blue-collar space in the United States. That's what it is.
I think there's more companies like that. Maybe in the roofing industry because it's a small niche.
Small niche. I mean, you could call it the largest niche in the space. But you are. And if not, you are the most influential in the blue collar space, in my opinion.
Okay.
All right. And you're going around to these people. You're going around to companies still. You're still out there doing it. I'm interested to know this from you. I'm looking at it from strictly a marketing and branding standpoint. When you step into a company, what are the ones that are succeeding? What are they doing? What are the ones that are failing? What are they not doing? Is there an overarching theme in their marketing and branding that you have seen right now that you could say, listen, you're screwing this up right here. You ain't going to make it. What do you see out there in the field?
See if you can reschedule 1 o'clock to 1:30, please. Just say he's finishing interview, move it 30 minutes up. Believe it or not, a lot of bad leadership and good leadership. I see companies who are failing, they're failing to recruit, they're failing to lead, they're failing to pay forward to their people. At the end of the day, it's not necessarily about marketing, branding. All of those are good things. If you're a good leader, you really care about your team, you will advertise, you will spend money, you will invest in social media, you will find what works. I recently did 2 company tours back to back, and one guy was kind of, fighting everyone. He, just, I don't need anyone, it's just me. And he's not failing, it's a way to do it, but there's a lot of guys who have no trust in anyone else. It's me, they can't delegate, they can't grow because of that. And there's a lot of bad leaders in a business. Now, good leaders, like when I look at the biggest companies in your Monarch Roofing, your Eustace Roofing, those are selfless people. Like they don't think about themselves, they paid forward, they're just givers. So my take, and I've seen it so many times in the roofing industry, selfish people who started a business for themselves, they get in financial trouble because they get too much money from the company for themselves. It's all about their vacations, their boats, their status, their showing up, all of it, right? It's all about them. Those are the biggest failures. People who live beyond their means, who make a lot of money but pay themselves moderately, invest in their people, sometimes even before they should invest in them, given raises before those people will reap what they sow. Because I'm telling you, those are the winners. And, I just came from Linda's Construction yesterday. Great example. They have people on their team. Once you get a job there and you're good, they're not firing you. You don't stay there for their average tenure is 13 years. 13 years, 162 employees. Why? Because Linda's, as a family, fathers and 3 sons now who runs the company, they're good leaders. So that's one thing that I see bright and clear. If you're a bad leader, you will never succeed. You will lose more people because it's expensive to train, it's expensive to advertise for employees, for jobs, and on the social media, you will come off as a jerk. Nobody going to be even attracted to you online when you start making content and being the face of the business. So being a good leader pays off.
Well, my last question for you is about a company that you are the leader of, and I can't let you get out of here without talking about it, because there's a lot of chatter about where does it stand, what's going on with it, good, bad, how you feeling. Directorii. Mm-hmm. You are the founder of Directorii. You've had people that have come in and invested in you. A lot of responsibility there. Can you give us an update? Where is Directorii at right now? How are things going over there?
Growing faster than ever. Have 5 different teams, agencies. So we have a core development team, 10, 12 people, my biggest bill. Then I have a SEO agency, very reputable. They work with their platforms. Then there is 3 others advertising. So I asked my team to give me the list of updates for the past 3 months. List was 30 updates. Huge things. Financing content to Directorii. We're doing so many things. It's just we can't grow fast enough. But in everything I've ever done, I've never ever was looking for shortcuts. True growth, quality over quantity. I can double, triple, quadruple tomorrow, but we're still cruising on 500 contractors. I could get 5,000 contractors on platform, but my strength is I know how to screen them, how to recommend them. I just yesterday was talking to a homeowner in Kansas City, called me, scheduled a call with us, and got screwed by the contractor. Installed a wrong roof. Promised in contract, owns corner roof, installed Temco, and demanding final payment. And homeowner and the daughter or husband and daughter called me. It's their 84-year-old father who did it. So you have 84-year-old who hired a roofer. So that's my everyday life. I recommend contractors. I don't give bad recommendations. We're growing fast. My everyday goal is how can I help these guys? My marketing fitness was Directorii program for Directorii contractors, free to them. My goal is to help them grow their businesses, advertise them. I am not only recommending good guys. I help them to promote, to get out there so people do business with them. So that's what I do.
Excited about it, man.
Yeah.
I know we have a limited time, everybody, but I hope I was able to capture some of the questions that you're looking for here. Make sure you comment below. Let us know anything you would like to know for Dmitry. We'll do our best to get the answer. Dmitry Lipinskiy, thank you very much for inviting us into your new office, the new everything, the workouts.
How was the
Igor
workout this morning?
Listen, I mean, I'm not going to say I dominated it, but I think I held my own okay. It was good. It's great, man.
First workout session with a guest. It was amazing right here. It's hot here now. We have to get
Well, it's hot, but yeah, I mean, I'm doing my thing.
Good.
But I appreciate you opening your doors as always, man. And I've appreciated your friendship. I'll tell you, people sometimes don't know this about you. You'll call me out of the blue and you'll text me and you'll just say, "How you doing, man?" And sometimes I'll just open up to you, as you know I do. But they don't. People don't see that side of you online, you know, and it upsets me because you do that for more than just me. You'll call people, man, tell me about what's going on, and you'll spend 30 minutes talking to me, and it means the world to me, our friendship, and I just appreciate you having me out here, Igor. I mean, behind the camera, everyone, thank you for what you do, brother, from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, brother.
Always, always.